Hello, my name is Rachel and welcome to my channel. Today we are doing healing exercises for Diastasis Recti. So this is a recovery movement session, the kind of session you want to be doing in the early days postpartum on a regular basis. So at least 3 to 4 times a week, okay? Make sure you've got a nice soft mat. Go ahead, get yourself ready, and I'll see you in a moment. Okay, so we're going to begin today's session lying down, and we are going to go through a very special movement practice. It is a movement of the muscles rather than the joints, and you're really going to feel this. This is very, very important for that postpartum recovery. So first thing we're going to do is have the knees bent, the feet hip width apart, and you're going to place your hands underneath you and try and find your sit bones. So pressing in until you can find those little bones, the bottom of your pelvis, okay? Now, we're going to use a lot of imagination here to help with this healing method. So I want you to visualize that you are breathing in through the center of the body, in between those sit bones. You're taking a breath in. And as you breathe out, I want you to think of those sit bones pulling towards each other. So you're going to try and find that activity within your body that feels as if those sit bones were pulling together. Now, watching me on the video, you're not going to see anything. This is really about feeling today, focusing in on your body. So take a breath in through the nose. Think of the breath coming in through the area between the sit bones. And then as you breathe out, think of the sit bones closing together. You're going to feel activity, particularly in the pelvic floor area here. So we're going to inhale through the nose, drawing the breath in. Exhale through the mouth and trying to close that area between the sit bones. Now we're going to separate the breath and the movement just to make it a little easier for you. So you're going to inhale, think of the breath coming in between the sit bones. You're going to exhale, and when you've exhaled completely, I want you to try and activate the muscle as if you're pulling the sit bones towards each other. You're going to feel all your internal muscles working. So deep breath in, breathing out, and then pulling those sit bones towards each other. Again, deep breath in. Breathing out, pulling those sit bones towards each other. Now don't expect to feel any movement of the sit bones. This is a visualization technique to help you reconnect with your body, reconnect with the muscles down in the pelvic floor area. So let's do 2 more. Deep breath in. Breathing out, and now pulling those sit bones together. 1 more time, deep breath in. Breathing out, and drawing those sit bones towards each other. Okay, now keep that method in mind, and let's take the hands and now place them on the top, on your hip bones. And it's the same idea. We take a breath in, through the nose, long breath out through the mouth. And when that breath is gone, I want you to think about pulling your hip bones towards each other. So imagining there's a thread between the bones and you're trying to close the gap. So you won't feel anything closing, but what you will feel is your muscles activating here. And that's what we're trying to do to heal the diastasis. So taking a breath in, breathing out, and then closing that area between the hip bones. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. And closing that area between the hip bones. You can close your eyes if that helps. Inhale. And exhale. Now find that connection with the abdominals, trying to draw those hip bones together. You'll feel your pelvic floor activating. Again, inhale. Exhale. Now closing that area between the hip bones. One more time, deep breath in. Breathing out. And closing that area between the hip bones. Good. Now we're going to bring our hands up onto the bottom of our ribs. We're going to do the same method, but we're going to think about trying to close our ribs. So the bottom of the ribs moving towards each other, and you should feel movement of the ribs on this one. So we're going to inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. And at the end of the exhale, try and close your rib cage. It's like someone zipping up a jacket and closing everything. It's tightening around here. So this is bringing these two sides of the abdominal area back together. Again, deep breath in. Breathing out. Closing those ribs. Good. Inhale. Exhale. Now think of trying to close those ribs. Inhale. Exhale. Closing those ribs. One more time, deep breath in. Exhale. And closing those ribs. Well done. Now we're going to try and put all of those feelings, those movements together, okay? So take a breath in, breathing out, and at the end of the out breath, think of closing the sit bones, the hip bones, and the ribs. So it's like everything is knitting back together through the front of the body there and between the sit bones here. And then release, inhale. Exhale. And at the end of the exhale, closing the sit bones, the hip bones, and the ribs. Again, deep breath in. Breathing out. Closing the sit bones, the hip bones, and the ribs. 3 more, deep breath in. Breathing out. Closing sit bones, hip bones, and ribs coming down and together. Inhale. Exhale. Closing sit bones, hip bones, and ribs. And last one. Deep breath in. Exhale. Closing sit bones, hip bones, and ribs. Good. And release. All right, now we're going to keep that knowledge in our mind. We're going to add some gentle movement. So bring your hands by your side. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, closing the sit bones, the hip bones, the ribs. Keep them closed. Now add a gentle tilt of the pelvis back towards you. Holding that musculature through that movement. And then releasing, inhaling as you release. So exhale. When all the breath is gone, closing sit bones, hip bones, ribs, and adding a tilt of the pelvis. Inhaling as the pelvis rocks back to neutral. Exhale, closing the hips, the ribs, the sit bones, and rocking back. Inhale back to neutral. Exhale here. Now close the sit bones, the hip bones, the ribs, and rock back. Inhale to neutral 2 more times. Exhale, when all the breath is gone, close those muscles and tip back. Inhale, back to neutral, last one. Exhale. Closing the space, tipping back, and release. Now keep that method of breathing going. We're going to go into our pelvic curl. So take a breath in. Exhale. Closing the space between the sit bones, the hip bones, the ribs. Tip back and start to peel all the way up. Inhaling at the top. Exhale, think of closing that space. Once everything is knitted back together, then come down through the body. So we're really training the muscles. It's not about doing these big complicated movements. It's about healing our body. Inhale. Exhale, closing the sit bones, the hip bones, the ribs, tipping back. Peeling up. And you can inhale as you lift. Exhale at the top, hold it. Closing that space and then coming down through the spine. Again, deep breath in. Exhale. Closing the space. And then tipping back. Keeping that hold in those muscles through here as you lift up. Inhaling through the nose. Exhaling through the mouth. Reconnecting, closing that space and coming back down. Let's do one more deep breath in. Exhale. Closing the space, tipping back and peeling up. Inhale. Exhale, closing the space and then coming back down. All right, let's keep this breathing method going. Taking a deep breath in. You're going to exhale, closing the spaces, and then floating the right leg up. Okay, and then from here, you're going to take a breath in, lowering the leg. Exhale, lift. Let's try and simultaneously close the space. Good. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. So we're really focusing on drawing everything in. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. And inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Now take that leg down. Let's do the same thing the other side. So staying with this breathing. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, let all the breath go out, and then think of drawing everything together. Once it's drawn together, we float the leg up. So we're finding that connection here. If it helps, you can place your hands there. So you're going to inhale, lower. Exhale, drawing everything in and lifting up. Good. Inhale, lower. Exhale, closing the gap and lifting. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Good. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. 2 to go. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. And last one, lower. And exhale, lift. Well done. Place that foot down. Roll onto your side and bring yourself up. Okay, keeping this method going of the breathing, we're going to sit with our knees bent, our hands underneath, drawing the shoulders down. Okay, it's going to feel different sitting up. It's going to be a little harder, so we're just going to work on it. So we're going to take a breath in. We're going to breathe out. When all that breath is gone, think of closing the gap between the sit bones, the hip bones, and the ribs, and then trying to gently hold that as you come back. And take a breath in. Breathe out, closing those gaps, closing those spaces. And once they're closed, hold it. Bring yourself up. And straighten the spine. Okay, so keep that focus. Deep breath in. Exhale, closing the space. Holding it as you come back. Deep breath in. Exhale. Closing those gaps. Coming forward. And lifting up. Deep breath in. Exhale. Closing the space. Coming back. Good. Deep breath in. Exhale. Closing the gap. Coming up. Now, as the weeks progress and your strength progresses, you can take the arms away. So I'm going to demonstrate that. I want the arms slightly rounded. Take a breath in. Exhale. Think of closing all those gaps, feeling those internal muscles working as you come back. Deep breath in. Exhale. Closing the space. Coming forward and up. 2 more. Deep breath in. Exhale. Closing the gap. Moving back, trying to hold that connection of those muscles. Deep breath in. Exhale. Closing the space. Coming up. And deep breath in. Exhale. Coming back. Inhale. Exhale. Now close that gap. Come forward and up. Now we can progress this on a little further. We won't be doing this on your very first time, okay? But I'm trying to show you how you can progress things further as the diastasis starts to heal. Okay, so we're going to add a little rotation. You're going to take a deep breath in. You're going to exhale, close the space, and come back. Okay, now you're going to inhale, going to your right. Exhale, think of closing the gap and coming back to the center. Other way, inhale. Exhale, closing the space and coming back. Now, if this is your first time doing this, just focus on how it feels. As long as you can feel that connection internally with those muscles, that's fine. If you're losing the connection, then you're not ready to add the rotation yet. Okay? 2 more. And last one. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Draw everything together. Come on up and lift up through the spine. Well done. Okay, so we're just going to do 2 more exercises. Okay, we're going to come onto our side. You're going to lie down. Bring the feet slightly forward. Okay, we're going to keep this breathing method, keep this feeling of everything drawing into your center. Okay, so you're going to take a deep breath in. Breathe out. Now think of closing the space between the hip bones and between the ribs. Once you've got that space closed, you're just going to float the leg up. And the idea is we're building strength in all these muscles through here and the deeper core muscles. And lower down. So deep breath in. Exhale, closing the gap. And then adding the lift of the leg. Keeping that, maintaining that position there, those muscles. And lower down. Inhale. Exhale. Now close the space, hold it, and lift the leg up. Good. Lowering down. Inhale. Exhale. Closing the space. Floating the leg up. Good. And down one more time. Inhale. Exhale. Closing the space. Floating the leg up and hold. And then coming down. Well done. Then those legs, come on up. Let's go do that on the other side. Okay, so feet slightly forward. Still thinking about this central part of your body, everything coming towards each other, like there's a zip going from your pubic bone all the way up. So take a deep breath in. Breathing out. closing the space and then holding that as you float the leg up. Lowering down, deep breath in. Exhale. Closing the space, floating the leg up. Lowering down, inhale. Exhale. Closing the space, coming up. Lowering down. Inhale. Exhale. Connecting to your center, holding it as you float the leg up. And lowering down. And one more deep breath in. And exhale. Closing that space. Floating the leg up. Good. And coming down. All right, bring yourself up. And final exercise, we're going to try this kneeling. Same method, okay? So, kneeling position. You can spread your fingers if you want to. Think of pressing the floor away with your hands. This really changes the feeling in the body. Okay, we're changing the gravitation, it's more gravitational pull now, so this becomes a little harder in this position. All right, so starting out, let's breathe. Take a breath in. Breathing out. Now think of closing the sit bones, closing the hip bones, closing the ribs. You're just going to feel a slight pulling in and together, all through here and also back here. So take a breath in. Breathing out. And once you breathed out, pull those sit bones, those hip bones, those ribs together. Once more, deep breath in. Breathing out. Now pull the sit bones, the hip bones, the ribs together. Hold that position, slide your right leg back. Okay, now we're going to take a breath in. We're going to breathe out. We're going to draw those spaces together. We're going to float the leg up behind us. So a simple movement, but you've really got to focus on the core, the center of your body. And then you're going to inhale, lower down. Exhale, closing the space internally, feeling those muscles working, and then adding the leg lift. Inhale, lower down. Exhale. Draw those sit bones, those hip bones, those ribs together. Hold that position with the muscles and come up. Lowering down, inhale. So you can feel it's a lot harder in this position. Exhale. Closing that space. Floating that leg up. Inhale, lower. This is the last one. Exhale. Closing that space and lifting up. Well done. Bring that leg in. Okay, so sliding that other leg out, getting ready for it on this side. So let's turn our attention back to the center of our body. Take a breath in, breathing out, closing the space between the sit bones, the hip bones, the ribs, and then adding the lift, keeping that closure. Inhale, lower down. Exhale. Closing that space, floating the leg up. Inhale, lower down. Exhale. Once all that breath is gone, then you pull the sit bones together, the hip bones together, the ribs together. Hold those muscles and float that leg up behind you. And lower down. Deep breath in. Exhale, closing the gap. Holding it, float the leg up. And coming down. One more time, deep breath in. Exhale. Closing the space, floating the leg up and lowering down. Well done. And then bring that knee in and come and sit yourself down. Okay, so that is your movement for today. I want you to really think about the method that I've taught you today. For Diastasis Recti recovery, you need to be applying that breathing method at all times. The more you do it, the more you will heal that diastasis. So if you're early days postpartum, then you just do what you can. When you get to the point where you can do this really easy, you've got that connection, then you can just apply that to my beginner level Pilates classes, all right? But when you're in the early stages of healing, you've got that gap. We're trying to really heal that center of the body. Don't be tempted to rush. Try and do this every other day. The more often you do it, the more you're going to find those connections, reconnect that body, and really heal yourself. All right, so I'd love to know what you think about today's session. Very much a mind over muscles session today. So do let me know what you thought. I hope you liked it. Please do like it. Please do share it. If you're part of a mum and baby group, a postpartum group of women, I'd love it if you could share it with all the women in your group. And of course, if you're not subscribed already, do subscribe. This is a class I used to teach on a regular basis to new mums, and I used to move from this class back into my regular Pilates. So hopefully you've really enjoyed it, and I'll see you again soon. Take care and have a wonderful day. If you'd like to support me and this channel, then you can buy me a virtual cup of coffee on Ko-fi. See all the details down below in the description box.